Suga BTS has been preparing for his upcoming performance in the United States, and the news of his arrival has been attracting attention not only among fans, but also within the international music industry. As this moment is considered an important phase in his solo career following a series of intensive activities in South Korea, yet behind the excitement there have been several realistic challenges that had to be addressed, starting with logistical issues that proved more complicated than initially estimated, as the management team had to adjust flight schedules and equipment shipments due to limited cargo capacity on certain routes, which forced part of the staff to carry out extra coordination with the local organizers in the US to ensure all technical needs would arrive on time. Meanwhile, Suga remained focused on his routine rehearsals to maintain the quality of his performance, spending long hours in the studio to adjust musical arrangements and curate a set list tailored to the audience there, and although such decisions may appear simple from the outside, they demanded significant energy since they involved input from the creative team, music producers, and support staff. In the midst of such a packed schedule, he also had to take care of his physical condition by securing enough rest and following a stable diet. A demanding task given the intensity of the preparation period, and even though the earlier logistical problems caused some concern, gradually each issue began to resolve through the solid cooperation of his team, keeping the overall atmosphere of preparation before departure to the US steady and positive for everyone involved. In the days leading up to the trip, Suga's schedule was filled with orderly yet busy routines. He attended additional rehearsals to ensure his stage movements would align smoothly with the lighting design planned by the visual team, while the promoters in the US continued to provide updates about technical matters at the venue, including adjustments to stage rehearsal times upon his arrival. But in the middle of these preparations, there was an administrative issue when work permit documents faced minor processing delays due to high submission volume from international artists at the same period. Although this did not cancel any plans, it still added a layer of coordination work for the management team, who had to stay in constant contact with the authorities to finalize the paperwork on time. On his side, Suga chose not to dwell on the paperwork and instead focused on artistic preparation, arranging his personal schedule to include light exercise, piano practice to nurture creativity, and moments of interaction with close colleagues, efforts he knew were important for maintaining mental balance before a major show. Overall, the atmosphere remained calm with occasional tasks to resolve, while fans following his progress through media reports and social platforms grew increasingly excited for his appearance in America, creating a warm support around the entire process. When the day of departure finally came, the airport was filled with media attention and fans showing their support. Though behind the lively scene, the management still needed to anticipate another logistical hurdle regarding limited baggage capacity for certain musical instruments required for the show, which meant some equipment had to be separated and shipped through cargo channels. Not an ideal choice, but a realistic one to ensure everything would arrive as needed. During the long flight, Suga focused on resting and saving energy for the days ahead. Upon arrival, he was guided directly to prearranged accommodations designed to provide comfort before venue rehearsals began. Despite the fatigue of travel, he still took time to review the technical schedule with his team to confirm that everything aligned. Outside the venue, the local fans were already creating conversations about his presence, and though tiredness was inevitable, his working spirit remained steady. The logistical challenges in Korea now transitioned into new adjustments in America concerning schedules and local conditions, yet all remained under professional control. As the final stage of preparation in the United States unfolded, Suga and his team entered direct stage rehearsals at the venue. The atmosphere was intense but organized as everyone knew their role. A technical issue with sound equipment arose when some devices did not fully synchronize with the venue system, requiring technicians to recalibrate and spending extra time, but the problem was solved without disrupting the main rehearsal timeline. Suga continued to maintain his focus, planning his practice so he would not exhaust himself and still preserve energy for the performance day. In between his schedule, he allowed himself short walks around the hotel to take in the city surroundings, a simple act that helped him feel relaxed. Media coverage increased significantly as the show day approached, but he chose to keep his privacy and let his work speak on stage. Once all the technical checks were confirmed at standard, the management closed the preparation process with a final evaluation to ensure no details were overlooked. From the long journey of preparation in Korea to his arrival and rehearsals in America, the entire process reflected dedication to making the performance successful. And what remained was only the moment Suga would step onto the stage, and share his effort and artistry with the fans who had been waiting with genuine support. Suga's days in the United States after his arrival quickly became structured around a combination of rehearsals, media obligations, and rest, with his management carefully balancing each activity so that he could adapt smoothly to the local environment. The first morning was spent adjusting to the time difference and ensuring his energy levels were stable, while the afternoon was dedicated to a closed-door technical rehearsal at the venue where the staff tested lighting sequences, stage, transitions, and sound quality. This process was essential to ensure consistency across all elements of the show, although minor adjustments had to be made when certain sound levels appeared uneven in the initial run. The technical crew worked diligently to fix the issue so that the rehearsal could proceed without major disruption. In the evening, Suga returned to his accommodation where meals were arranged to match his dietary plan, providing balanced nutrition to sustain his stamina. Despite the demanding schedule, he made a point of dedicating quiet time to himself, listening to music privately and sketching new melodies on his laptop, an activity that not only relaxed him but also kept his creative instincts sharp. Meanwhile, the local press began highlighting his presence in the city, reporting on his arrival and preparations, which added further attention to his upcoming stage appearance. Though Suga remained largely away from public spaces to maintain focus, he was aware of the increasing buzz and took comfort in the steady support of fans who gathered outside the venue and hotel in a respectful manner. The management coordinated with local security to ensure that both safety and privacy were maintained without unnecessary intrusion. As the second and third days progressed, the rehearsal process became more refined, with choreography, live band arrangements, and visual cues starting to align into a seamless performance. During breaks, Suga exchanged thoughts with his production team to fine-tune transitions between songs, all while being mindful of conserving his voice by limiting non-essential speaking. The combination of professionalism from his staff and his personal discipline created an environment where progress was clear and motivating. On the logistical side, the previously delayed instruments and equipment shipments finally cleared through customs and were delivered to the venue, allowing the team to integrate them into rehearsals as originally planned. This development eased concerns and gave everyone reassurance that the performance would not be compromised by earlier setbacks. The following day included a full dress rehearsal which simulated the actual show sequence, complete with stage outfits and lighting programs. Suga approached this run with the same seriousness he would on performance day, using it as a chance to measure his endurance and note any areas requiring final adjustments. Afterward, he returned to the hotel earlier than usual to rest and recover. The management emphasized the importance of conserving energy ahead of the official event. While fans continued to express anticipation through social media updates and small gatherings near the venue, the overall atmosphere around the city began to shift into one of celebration. As local businesses and community outlets also acknowledged the upcoming performance, by the time the rehearsal period drew to a close, both Suga and his team had settled into a steady rhythm, showing a balance of preparedness, professionalism, and quiet anticipation for the live event that was now just around the corner. On the day of the scheduled performance, the atmosphere around the venue grew steadily livelier as fans gathered hours before the doors were set to open, creating a calm yet energetic environment that reflected their anticipation. While inside the arena, Suga and his team maintained a focused routine, beginning with a soundcheck session that involved careful balancing of the live instruments and microphone levels. The engineers paid special attention to the acoustics since the venue's size and structure required fine adjustments to avoid echoes or uneven sound. After the soundcheck, he briefly rehearsed a few key parts of his setlist, not to exhaust himself but to feel comfortable with the stage under actual conditions. Following that session, he returned backstage to rest and conserve energy, where light meals and hydration were prepared to sustain him throughout the event. The management monitored the flow of the schedule closely to ensure that no unnecessary delays would cause stress. Outside the venue, local media broadcast live coverage of the growing crowds, while social platforms were filled with updates from fans waiting for the show. The surrounding city appeared to embrace the moment as businesses nearby extended hours to accommodate the influx of attendees. As the evening approached, the final checks were carried out, including outfit fittings and equipment alignment. The stage crew worked seamlessly to confirm lighting sequences and background visuals matched the intended order. Suga kept a steady composure and used the quiet moments before the show to meditate briefly and clear his thoughts, understanding the importance of mental focus before stepping onto the stage. The concert then proceeded as planned, with Suga delivering his setlist in a sequence that flowed naturally from one track to the next, supported by the visual production and live arrangements that had been carefully rehearsed in previous days. Throughout the performance, his energy remained consistent, his stage presence reflecting both experience and genuine connection with the audience. While the fans responded with enthusiastic cheers that filled the venue without overwhelming the structure of the show, each song was met with recognition and warmth, creating a steady rhythm that carried the event forward. Backstage, the staff coordinated transitions smoothly so that Suga could focus entirely on his delivery without distractions. The balance between artistry and organization was evident in the seamless way the performance unfolded, and when the final number concluded, he exited the stage to an ovation that continued long after the music ended. The atmosphere both inside and outside the venue felt celebratory yet respectful, with attendees sharing their impressions in real time through various media channels. Once backstage, he allowed himself a moment to relax and acknowledge the effort of the entire team. The management then oversaw a short debrief to highlight both strengths and minor notes for future reference. As the night drew to a close, he was transported back to his accommodation under tight but discreet arrangements, the city lights passing by as he reflected quietly on the event. Knowing that the journey leading to this performance had been filled with challenges, but also with disciplined work and support from many sides, the evening ended not with spectacle but with a calm sense of accomplishment and gratitude that would carry forward into the following days. The morning after the concert began quietly for Suga as he adjusted back into a calmer rhythm following the intensity of the previous night. His management ensured that his schedule was lighter, allowing him to rest longer before engaging in any activities. Breakfast was served privately in his accommodation with a focus on simple and nourishing food to help his body recover from the demands of the performance. Later in the day, he met briefly with members of his team to review the overall outcome of the show, discussing logistical points such as how smoothly the equipment had functioned, the efficiency of backstage transitions, and the reception from both the audience and the media. This debrief was conducted in a straightforward and professional manner, with notes taken for potential adjustments in future appearances. Beyond the technical aspects, there was also recognition of the teamwork that had been vital in making the event possible. The atmosphere during this review was reflective rather than celebratory, focusing on what had been achieved and what could be improved. Afterwards, Suga had free time to spend in a personal way, choosing to step outside for a short walk near the hotel with a few staff accompanying him discreetly. He observed the city in daylight without the distraction of a performance looming ahead, an experience that allowed him to connect with the environment in a more relaxed manner. Later in the afternoon, he received updates on media coverage, noting that reports emphasized the professionalism of the show and the positive energy from the audience, which reassured him that the effort invested in preparation had translated effectively on stage. While fans continued to share impressions online, his focus shifted more toward recovery and maintaining balance before returning to his wider schedule of commitments. The following hours were spent quietly, with light exercise to ease tension from travel and performance, followed by periods of rest and listening to music in private. The management team began coordinating travel plans for the next leg of his schedule, ensuring that logistics for flights, accommodations, and potential future rehearsals were properly arranged. In the evening, he joined his staff for a modest dinner where the conversation remained practical and centered on the continuation of work rather than the glamour of the previous night. The sense was one of steady progression, rather than dramatic celebration, reflecting his approach of valuing consistency and dedication over momentary spectacle. As the day concluded, the overall mood was calm and grounded, with a clear sense that the performance in America had been both a significant milestone and a natural step in an ongoing journey, leaving behind not a story of sudden surprises but a portrait of sustained effort, teamwork, and the ability to manage challenges with professionalism. The night ended with Suga retiring early, ready to prepare for whatever lay ahead in his career with the same measured discipline that had carried him successfully through this chapter.